Emergency notice. TA Hocus Pocus at it once again. Well, welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. It is a very quiet and early Wednesday morning over here. Yeah, it is a Wednesday. It is Wednesday. It's not Tuesday, it's Wednesday. That's right. Happy Wednesday to everyone out there. Happy new February, if it's still even new February. Yeah, it's the 3rd of February, so it's basically still fresh. We got plenty to talk about as Bitcoin does hit the topside target from yesterday after the short-term time frame break to about $37,000. Now, what, you might be asking? And of course, we'll be covering that. Also, Ethereum as well, leading the markets, playing into the rotational narrative, really actually confirming the rotational narrative, as Ethereum did take the first mover, as we did see yesterday. So with that said, I would like to wish you the best, and let's get into it right now. Focusing on the grand new overhaul of the Krown chain application, of which you can grab for yourself for 100% free of charge at app.krownchain.net. So take advantage of it or don't, because that's fair enough. It's all up to you anyways. More importantly, what can we focus on over here? Well, several things, but first and foremost, we do see that Bitcoin dominance popping up a little bit as Bitcoin does rally to the top side of the medium-term time frame range from yesterday's little breakout. Now, more importantly, with that, what do we see as far as open interest goes? Open interest is now rising. So we saw about 400 million added from open interest from yesterday to today. Again, as Bitcoin does break the short-term time frame range to the upside, really thus confirming this as reaccumulation and, well, more or less good, following through with what we spoke about yesterday. On top of that, we do see that the fear and greed index is stuck at a 78, so the market is just comfortably greedy right now, if you read it like that. And into the market data tab we'll go, and let's see what we got over here. So as you can see, a bit of a straight line on the fear and greed index, but more importantly, with the open interest, you see a clear accumulation coming off the lows at about $30,000 region. So to kind of compare this, or not compare this, but to put this in a narrative of the last month and a half of price action, as Bitcoin did hit $40,000, we saw open interest get a little bit above 6 billion with a B, that is. And after that happened, we did see a steady decline within that, as Bitcoin did come back down and set in a range, set a nice base at the $30,000 level. That's very, very important to understand, because within the context of that price action, we did see that volume was actually coming down while open interest was coming down as well, and price action coming down, which did suggest that that was more or less longs taking profit, which did set in the bullish buys, again, as long as Bitcoin was above about 30,000 bucks or 30,500, depending upon which exact time frame that you're going to be using over there. Anyways, more importantly, with that, that does now really reconfirm this as reaccumulation, as we do see open interest shoot up alongside price action as Bitcoin does take out the short-term time frame ranges. So with that in mind, I do still look at this as more or less a healthy market, and, well, to spoil the surprise, it's kind of being led by Ethereum right now, and that is all well and good, especially going into Ethereum's big day in just a few short days here. Let me just double check. Yeah, it's going to be in about 5 days. We are on the 3rd of February, and we are going to be looking at the 8th of February, it looks like, on Monday. So this coming Monday, actually, Ethereum's going to be getting its Ethereum futures on CME, and I should actually double check on that, because I'm pretty sure it's the 8th though. I'm nearly positive it's the 8th, but I should double check on that. Anyways, definitely feel free to confirm yourself, and more importantly, I should make sure that the microphone's actually working and we're recording. Okay, good. All right, awesome, great. So with that said, I would be looking for Ethereum to likely rally into that event. Maybe a day before, maybe a day afterwards, we do see a bit of a sell-off from there, and then if the rotational market within this narrative, if the rotational narrative within this market does continue to play out, we'd expect another one to kind of step up, and, well, could that be Bitcoin? Yeah, certainly could be Bitcoin. Do we have other major things going on in this market around that same time frame as well? Yes, we have Coinbase IPO also coming up, which I do think can keep this market up for a little bit longer too. So with that in mind, while I would be looking for a pullback on Ethereum around that date, about 24 hours before and after, anywhere around there, would be a little bit wary of potential local highs being put in. I'd probably, first and foremost, I'd look for something else to kind of try to take the reins over, and then we'll come back to it after that. And I will be on ski week at that point, so I won't be I won't be watching too closely, but I'll be actually coming back on Monday itself. So while I will still do the videos, I also want to explore other avenues of life. Anyways, what else do we have over here? Yeah, I do want to check out the interest rate, as we do see all major exchanges are pretty subdued here. We do see that FTX is at 0.15% region. As always, they are the outlier way the fuck out there. And I really want to see more than, 3+ exchanges get above the 0.1% threshold that I kind of look at as declaring, local highs. And as it is right now, you can see that, just FTX is right there. Everyone else more or less okay, you could say, although it is creeping up, but not a major consideration. And again, needs to be combined with price action at the same time as well. Bitcoin dominance also kind of leveling out here too, which does play into the narrative that as Bitcoin does move off the low side of this range, we likely do find our lows on the dominance in the low 60% region for right now. And actually today would be a good day to go check that one out. By the way, crypto total market cap over here in chart format looking very, very good as well for a nice breakout as we do enter. Is this new all-time highs? Actually, it might just be. Yes, I think we do have new all-time highs. 1092 billion was our prior in January 9th. Yesterday we hit 1094 spot 11. Nice. All right. So congratulate yourselves. It doesn't mean much. Still years away from gold's like 8 or 9 trillion market cap. Actually, it might be like might be more like 10. Sorry, not million, but billion. Trillion. That is trillion with a T. That is. Anyways, let's go into the actual price action charts themselves. Or is there anything else that I want to talk about here? Let's see, user alerts. No, or at least that's more personal to myself. News. We got Elio trade stuff over there. Awesome. And as far as events go, just more or less shitcoin stuff going on right now. All right, cool. Let's go back to the dashboard and keep this nice and steady. And is there anything else that I want to highlight? Top 10, top worst. Let's see. Top 10 gainer. Jesus Christ, man. What the fuck are these altcoins going crazy right here? Phantom going 42.5%. Jesus. Coin. This was a 2017 coin as well. My lord, 20% here too. Litecoin, Ethereum. In the lower teens, actually not looking all that bad. Very interesting there. Very, very interesting to see who's the big gainers and who's the big losers as well. We actually got Curve DAO token going down 10%. Sushi swap down 4%. Jesus, man. All right, so maybe DeFi is getting rotated down right now. We'll have to check that out, although I am certainly not the master of that, nor do I claim to be. Okay, let's go over here into the price action charts, and what do we see? Oh, by the way, I want to give, before we get into the actual analysis, I want to give a major shout out once again to Roger, who's been writing up the sort of summaries of these videos for our app, and you can actually get it there in Word format, which I understand, is going to be better for some people who, I don't know, it just works out better with their time, or they understand things better from like a visual reading perspective. I'm actually one of those people myself, and that's there for you. Roger's been doing this for a while now, and we really want to kind of like put it at the forefront because it's actually really, really helpful, and I just want to give a major shout out to him because he's been doing a fucking phenomenal job with it. So that is just glorious now, isn't it? Anyways, okay, into the charts we go. Let's see what we got right here. Again, I do want to follow up on the monthly, as always, setting in the tone as we are, kind of fresh in the month. So I always like to focus a bit more on this. And what do you know? Trending above the top side Toronto band, looking good, looking strong, looking thick AF and nice and tight. And I am essentially bullish on the macro as long as this condition is met. Obviously, at some point, it's going to be we're going to see a closure below, and obviously a local high will be put in. But for right now, still looking good, still looking girthy, still looking powerful. And what do we see over here? We do see that the accumulation distribution indicator, which I put a lot of weight on actually for the macro direction, still retains its positive slope coming into the month of February, which to me says still, well, game on to the upside. And yes, we did lose a little bit of curvature on this. That's okay. Well, that's to be expected when Bitcoin has its first sideways range after essentially 10 to 11,000 bucks right here. That is to be expected. But after this, we would expect it to continue with at least this same slope, maybe even increase the slope once again to the upside as Bitcoin does test around the prior all-time high and makes new all-time highs. More importantly, the slope of this, rather than the color, which I give zero fucks about, is what matters most. It does typically get the macro, maybe not perfectly to the T, but I can just show you a few examples right here. The last time that we had a slope change was way the fuck back on over in May 2020. That actually sounds rather familiar because that was right after the coronavirus dump times, and then boom, like nothing else happened, just straight vertical from about 8,800 to where we are right now at just below 40,000 bucks. Before that, we did see a slope shift change from January 2020. That was precipitating the coronavirus dump times right here at the high of February. at about 10,000 bucks before heading down to 4,000 bucks that is. And before that, we did see a slope change back over in January 2019 here too. That was after the $6,000 to $3,000 dump-ola before getting ready to reverse from 3,000 more like to 14,000 bucks in 2019. And of course, there is another one which there's several more really, but we can go over the last one, the bull trap of 2018 as well. This was actually one of the big reasons also why I did get bearish in this region over here on that double rejection at about 12,000 bucks, and then boom down over the next year. So just straight down from 12,000 to essentially 3,000. So I do like this quite a fair bit, and I do put a lot of weight on it for the macro direction, but we are looking at a month, we are looking at big price ranges. And with that in mind, that does mean that, well, Bitcoin could literally come all the way down to like 30,000 bucks. That's a $7,000 move almost from where we're at right now. And it wouldn't really do all that much for me. So, as long as that condition is met, I am more or less happy to be a boolah in this market, I suppose, for the long term, employing more long-term strategies as I'm trying to learn how to relax more in life. Been reading a lot more like mindfulness type texts and whatnot, and it's actually quite nice. It's actually quite nice to change things up and employ more medium to long term strategies with Bitcoin specifically. Obviously with Forex and if I were trading traditional, which I'm not, I haven't traded traditional since 2000 or I guess end of 2018, 2019. I figure that's just the best way to be handling this asset right now while is in the process of training other markets though, like Forex, better for short term time frames if the itch scratches your itch. What the fuck does that mean? I don't know. You know what the fuck I mean though. Anyways, looking at monthly MACD, I also do want to highlight the fact that the MACD histogram still retains its increasing histogram here. So until we actually see this lighten up a little bit, I don't really look at this as a potential reversal until that condition is met. Obviously, at some point, it's going to happen within that same month, yes, but this still, even though it does look incredibly overdone, overextended over here, still fine, at least by the current measuring of this. More importantly, you can see that anytime it's kind of loosened the grip is what I typically refer to as, or just this off color right here. That has been, again, your reversals combined with the accumulation distribution indicator down here. You can see that they typically do match up, not perfectly, but they should match up, and they kind of work as like a confirmation tool for each other. So you want to see both of those actually going in the same direction, and right now we do. And in the past, we have seen them essentially call some pretty mega macro moves here as well. You do see that this one, really loosening it after the $6,000 or $3,000 dump before this mega pump over here. Same thing after the reversal right here, and then of course same thing after the coronavirus dump over here, and again back in end of 2017, beginning of 2018, when Bitcoin put in its first high at about 20,000 bucks before working its way down to 3,000 bucks right here, to be fair. So with all of that in mind, I do still like that. And let's go on into the 3-day, which I think is closing today or tomorrow. Now, oh wow, the 3-day just closed today. Okay, so we have a completely fresh one. We did say that yesterday, as long as we're above all major moving averages on this, more or less good, more or less fine. This is really obviously a reaccumulation, as we did say yesterday as well. The positives, or sorry, the upward slopes on both of these is kind of a key, a key indication of that as well. And we do see the rise in wick nature here too. And on top of that, we do see that the DMI ADX is actually starting to fire off another signal. So I really, really like that. This is again a fresh tick right here. So I look at this as likely efficacious with the ADX strengthening above the threshold. Also the DMI plus dominant here too. So to me, that is good to go, so to speak. Now, could we come back down and based upon the 9x Benjamin average? Yep. Coming back down and having a wick around there, completely fine, completely normal. But ultimately, I am bullish on Bitcoin, especially as long as it's above the $34,500 pivot. Going on to the 2-day, I think this one must be closing today then. Is that correct? That is correct. Okay, sweet. That is correct. And the good old, what is that, Happy Gilmore? Or is that Happy Gilmore or motherfucker, man? But Billy Madison, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one. Man, they're all the same. They're all the same anyways, though. Okay, so first and foremost, I want to talk about 2-day MACD. Now, of course, this is unlikely to cross like on the next tick, but I do want to highlight the number where it would start to change around, and of course, just continuing to rise above at 36,291 is interesting nonetheless. So I would be looking at this as it's kind of working its way onwards and forwards, but this is likely to get the macro direction here. So I do want to see what the next tick looks like tomorrow, but so far so good. Also same sort of signal going on here on the DMI ADX. Again, this one closing tonight. I want to see it follow through to further confirm the 3-day. And if these two are working together, then I'd feel very, well, I shouldn't say that I'd feel very confident, but I'd essentially be looking for this short-term move to the upside to continue on probably back to 39,000 to 40,000 bucks. Anyways, looking at this right here, yes, again, DMI plus dominant, also has positive curvature. And what do we see on the ADX? Same thing as well, above the threshold, most importantly. So all this looks good to me. And going into the daily, just see if there's anything of particular note right here as well. Yes, what do you know? DMI plus dominant, ADX starting to strengthen. Very, 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 very good. So, again, I want to see the ADX get above the threshold as well. But for now, this is accompanied by a bullish cross on the MACD. Now, more importantly, this is not just a bullish cross on the MACD, because that in and of itself is a very ineffective way to use the MACD. As we've done videos on this in the past, I want to first and foremost say that the most important thing with that is that, if you're looking at moving averages, we got above the 20 simple moving average as that cross happened. You could look at that, or you could just look at it structurally wise, both more or less the same here. I mean, they're coming in about the same fucking area. So it's like people always argue over which one's better. It's like, you stupid moving average people and you stupid horizontal people. It's like you're more or less doing the same thing a lot of the time, just so you know. Look at the bigger picture. Anyways, that's the 34,500 region right here. That short-term pivot from yesterday. So both of those essentially accompanied each other, again, alongside a momentum oscillator signal and a daily MACD signal, which is likely to be confirmed with any sort of a closure above, especially above 36,000 bucks. So right now, Bitcoin about a healthy 600 bucks above that currently. So I would be looking for this to more or less continue to the upside, as this looks so far so good. Now it should be noted that the topside Toronto band is just below $38,000 right here. If Bitcoin does start to close back above there, I would be looking at that as a clear indication that Bitcoin's going to not just retest the prior all-time high, but very likely make new all-time highs. So keep that in mind, as well as we do see this start to get lift off a little bit. All right, into the regular charts we go over here, and let's follow up from yesterday's short-term time frame analysis. Obviously, this was the short-term time frame area to be aware of, and Bitcoin did take it out with flying colors. Lovely right there on the 4-hour closure. We did talk about this on yesterday's lightning round wrap-up, if you want to call it that. I need to figure out a better name for that. That's too fucking generic. Jesus Christ. Does anyone have any creative juices that I can borrow? That came out wrong. All right, never mind. Fuck. Anyways, yes, so that did initiate that move up to about 37,000 bucks. I said anywhere between about 37 to 37,500, of which, do I think that we get another small move up to 37.5 before playing out a little bit more of a pullback? I don't really have a strong opinion on that. To me, this is the big news was taking out the 34,500 area right here. I am certainly bullish on just about every time frame as long as Bitcoin is above there. Now, does still offer up the opportunity that on the other end, that if Bitcoin were to come back down here and close, especially a 4-hour delta below this pivot point, I would switch to short-term bearish and look for another drive back down to the $30,000 base, anywhere around this blue box territory right here. But for the time being, things are looking more or less fine, and I wouldn't mind a short-term pullback. Again, maybe even retest 34.5. However, more or less, this looks, well, still good to me. But looking at our momentum oscillators right now, the 4-hour RSI really sticks out as being more or less healthy as we do get back into the bullish control zone right here. Like, sleeping, my eyes are fucking me up right now. Don't like it. Anyways, on top of that, we do see that 4-hour Stokes are nice and healthily erect here too. Now, they will remain erect as long as Bitcoin is above 36,000 bucks. So keep that in mind, because, that will be the magical number, at least for the short-term timeframes right now. So if Bitcoin starts to close back down below there, I would be looking for a short-term pullback. Where would a target be on that? I think at least 35,000 bucks. Could it come all the way down to 34.5? Possibly yes, but 35 would be my target for that. And probably a bounce implied there on the shorter term timeframes. Then I want to see it in real time after that. Moving on to the 3-hour, I want to see if this is further accompanied by that. And yes, same number here, 36,000 bucks on the 3-hour, and that is also about the same read on 3-hour RSI. Given that hidden bullish divergence, nice one on that. And by the way, HVP extremely low here on the 3-hour, suggesting that we are actually just beginning on this move. I mean, this is an expansive posturing right here, while Bitcoin does essentially put in an uptrend on these, on on these lower term timeframes, breaking more importantly the range, and now continuing as momentum remains to the upside. I do actually quite like that. The counterpoint to this would be obviously if the downside condition was met for momentum oscillators, first and foremost, then yes, I would be looking for that expansion to come back down. And, could that be enough to actually break 34.5 to the downside and initiate another test back down, let's say to 31 or 32,000 bucks? Yes. Is that what I'm looking for to happen? No, but that would be the read. Until that happens, I'm just generally bullish here. 2 hour, what do we see right here? Same thing, 36.5 actually, so a little bit more aggressive. And by hourly RSI, looking good here as well. And I do look for the RSI to really give the more powerful reads in a move like this, because we did see a breakout on the short-term time frame. So this does correlate with that. Obviously, if we're looking at like a 12-hour daily, it's not going to be the same sort of thing on this. But as it is right now, our lower-term time frames, they are trending. So I would be looking at the RSI rather than our Stokes to get that move in its, or a better idea of that move. And all of these look more or less healthy as it is right now. And it still looks like continuation of me looking at hourly right here. Again, a little bit more aggressive. 36,677 is the magical number. Usually when it gets this aggressive, it will start to come down just naturally because it's hard to keep up that momentum. But again, hourly RSI says if it does come back down, that likely turns into an opportunity. And I just want to double check over here with CME futures if they have the similar sorts of reads going on. And yeah, it's completely different. As you can see, the 4 hour, remember we had this trend line down here. I guess I'd drawn a little bit differently, coming in around the edge of the bearish control zone. That was picked up, boom, up, and as you can see, plenty of room here. And by the way, supported as long as we are above 34,850 on CMEs. Which one do I put the most weight on? CME, absolutely. And it is a little bit interesting that even on Wednesday, that we're actually not seeing these line up, because typically we do. And seriously, there's like some shit in my eye, man. Gonna get some pink eye with that. 3 hour, what do we see right here? Actually a lot different, 36,230. What about bi hourly? Same thing, 36,650, and hourly showing 36,650 as well. Very interesting, actually. Okay, so the very low term timeframes are on the same side, but 4 hour, not so much. Huh. I can't recall the last time that I actually saw a difference like that on a Wednesday. Very strange. Anyways, into the medium term timeframes we go. What do we see over here? We do see 12-hour Stokes nice and healthily up once again, and they will remain erect as long as you're above 33,500. Looking good right there. And more importantly, this is the chart that does make me, look at, maybe a short-term pullback from just above 37,000 bucks. But ultimately, I'd be looking for continuation on this. 12-hour RSI tells the story as well. Looking very, very good here. Playing out that bullish divergence and then boom, back into the bullish control zone. Do I think it's more of a formality here? Yes, I do. And what would be the next pivot to the short term to the upside? Well, very simply put, it'd be right here. We could do it a little bit more like this, actually, which is going to be about 37.5. About 37,500. Anywhere above there, I would be looking for extension towards basically 40 to 41,000 bucks. So we're talking about another, $3,000 plus move about. And at that point, are things going to break out on the macro? Well, then you got to start looking at what the daily and higher term timeframes are going to start saying. Yes, it would. It would look pretty damn good. So fair enough. All of this is working well with each other, and I am. You could say that I'm more or less bullish here. Just based off of that, I'm curious if CME looks anything different. It does look a little bit different, actually. 12-hour Stokes are healthy as long as we're above 35,850. So clean, more than $1,000 above that right now. Of course, more can happen than that in about 6 hours of trading. But for now, I would be. Hey, what the fuck? Is that half the right time? Hold on. That makes very little sense. Why is? Oh, okay, I see. All right, never mind. All right, looks like my computer's time is all gunked up over there. Okay, well, in that case, let's go over to the daily. Again, daily, more or less the same on both of them. And CME chart, just, again, a lot easier to read here as it puts in that base at about $31,000. Spot price action a little bit different, a little bit more of a fake out with that drop below, but still basing off the 55. More or less fine to me again. So if I did, if I did have to call things right now and kind of wrap up my short-term thoughts on Bitcoin, a little bit more of an upside to maybe like just above 37,000 bucks, probably short-term pullback from there, and then continuation very likely implied maybe over the next week or something, coming into next week to the $40,000 to $41,000 level, and then after that, Bitcoin can actually make new all-time highs on this, of which I would look at this as a confirmed breakout with any sort of a closure, especially above, let's just call it 40,000 bucks, probably good enough for me. I would be looking for extension to our next long-term targets, which is going to be about 45,000 bucks right here. And then after that, you got you got 50, you got 51,000 right here, and then you got about 58,000 right here. So, are the people looking for 60,000 bucks out of their minds? Maybe not so much, but again, one thing before the next, and I do not like to get ahead of myself too much here, but so far so good. Anyways, moving on, I do want to check out Mr. Buterol just because, again, he was kind of leading well, I don't know his gender, but it was leading the charge to the upside yesterday, it looks like. And where's my damn charts over here? Come on, you fuck. There we go. Got it. All right, 1550. So yes, we do have a confirmed breakout right here. Ascending triangle has been resolved. The bullish reaccumulation has been confirmed. And our target's up to, what is this? Just north of 1700. In line with the ascending triangle measure move. Also on top of that, we do see, well, hold on. Am I doing this properly here? Yeah, okay, that looks about right. All right, cool. Maybe a little bit better. There we go. Let's just make sure that this is actually not correct. Let's make this properly for a 4 hour. There we go. All right, let's see where that comes in around. Just want to measure that one out, and let's see. There it is. Okay, nice. Now we do have it in line with the 2-spot extension about just below 1,800 bucks. So I would be looking for a move to 1,800 bucks. Probably over the next week or so, and then does Ethereum pull back from this target? Very likely yes, and but I'd be looking for that to get picked back on up. I almost never see reversals at this level right here. Typically, what I do see is a little bit of drama at the 414 or the 618, of which that's between about 1,900 and 2,000 bucks. So I do think that Ethereum probably does make its way over there over the next few weeks, and maybe sometimes I say that, and that's the next few days, and that's crazy. But that's just crypto market for you. I don't really care about the timing of it. What I care about is levels, more importantly. And looking at this right now, I do look at the breakout area that we denoted yesterday at 1440 on a 4 hour, or if you're looking at a daily, that would be akin to, yeah, just under 1400 as failure points for that, meaning that as long as Ethereum stays above those on those respective timeframes, I look at the I look at the breakout as efficacious and likely to get follow through. Now, there is one major concerning thing about this thus far that I am looking at right now, and that is the volume on this perceived breakout. As you can see, this is not breakout volume right here. Now, I do want to check a few other exchanges just to make sure that this is consistent, because if it is, then that is a little bit of a concerning thing. And yep, here's BitMexico, and not consistent as well. We do see, it is consistent in that it has very low volume on that breakout thus far. Where is my other Ethereum? I found you over here. Yep. And this one, yeah, same thing here too. And I think this is like Poloniacs or something that's just completely irrelevant now. But my point is that, there is some cause for concern here. There is a little bit of cause for concern. We'd expect that volume would be popping up alongside it actually taking that leg up, especially on this guy right here, on this nice greeny, girthy one. Anyways, as it stands right now, what do we see as far as momentum oscillators go? 4 hour RSI, still looking more or less fine. However, short term, I would be looking for a pullback here. Let's see what the 4 hour momentum oscillator say over here. 1521 is a magical number right now. So any sort of a 4 hour closure below there. And yes, I'd be looking for a retest, probably back down to like 1480 to 1450-ish region. Curious if the lower term timeframes are saying the same thing. Yeah, about the same thing. 3 hour 1520. Bi hourly is 1550, where we're at right now. And hourly is 1540-ish region. So it's basically saying that if it failed, if you are looking at this as trending right now, or which it is, then we expect this to continue upwards and onwards in the more immediate section right here. And perhaps that's where you can see the volume start to pour on in. So realistically, when you do see a breakout like this, yes, you can give it a bit of a buffer zone for like about 24 to 48 hours after the actual breakout to watch for that volume to come in. I think that that's warranted in this case as well, because from a momentum oscillator perspective, this is a very, very good setup right here. We have hidden bullish evidence leading into the breakout, back into the bullish control zone. Very fucking constructive read over the last over the last going all the way back to April 2020. So very good right there. Also on top of that, we do see daily Stokes once again following the regression all the way back from our, I guess I have it right there, all the way back from our September lows, which was the prior reaccumulation on Bitcoin as well, above 10,000 bucks. In fact, the real sideways market that we've actually seen, and popping back up here as well, holding in the bullish control zone as long as we have 1420. Good. Also great number right there too. Anyways, more importantly with that, Those two things combined with each other, I do look at as still favoring the upside here, and the breakout is real. So I just want to see, a nice boost, a nice bolster up in that volume, today or tomorrow at the latest, and I'd feel very, very, very confident looking for 1,800 and then about $2,000, and then we'll talk about it after that. So cool. What else do we have? Maybe weekly. Weekly kind of told the story, taking out last week's high. There's nothing bearish about that right there. Looking pretty damn good. So all is well and good in cryptocurrency land as of the moment. Euro dollar, go fuck yourself. Yeah, come down. Oh, nice one. Okay, so we did say yesterday, likely to come back down to 120-ish region. It looks like we've almost got that. Let's see. Yeah, just about there. Was it yesterday that we looked at that, or the day before? I think it was yesterday. All right, cool. Good. Come down, you euro dollar shit fuck. Okay. All right. What else do we want to check out? What about traditional markets? NASDAQ. And it's the market that never goes down, by the way. So once again, Krown, do not call fucking reversals on things that do not have fucking reversals. Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, yesterday we identified that was not going to be correct. So looks like my read coming into this week was a bit premature right there. And yesterday, was a day where it's like, hey, this is not going to work out. We're going to pop back up to the highs. The key in this one was the hidden bullish divergence coming off the daily, as well as momentum oscillators on the daily turning back up here too. Or sorry, they will turn back up with any sort of a closure today above 13,225, which is looking rather likely, seeing its current posturing, and that is even above all major moving averages as of the current moment as well. So, and this is also on increasing volatility here too. I mean, this thing's gonna make new all-time highs. That's insane. Oh my god, you get a little bit of a sell-off right here, and then a bullish engulfing dildo to just absolutely fucking green dildo your way to the heavens right after that. That is powerful. That is strength. Now, don't get me wrong, I do think that this is starting to look a little bit extended right now, but there will be more green dildos, like that movie. There will be green dildos, the one with the terrible ending, or well, from most people consider that a terrible ending. I thought it was actually quite refreshing because you never really see that in a movie. It's always like, you can almost usually guess what's going to go on in a movie, right? It kind of sucks. But not in that movie. No smiles there. Anyways, SPY, same thing. So I'd expect essentially the same thing here as well. Probably does, well, it's pretty much already retested the prior all-time high. Do believe that we said that was likely if we did get our short-term, closure above that 3820-ish region right here. That was met. Yep, I'd be looking for a retest of the prior all-time high, 3850, and probably new all-time highs coming into next week. Holy shit. Oh my god, man. If you need any more confirmation of how ridiculous the world is, just look at these two charts right here in this current social and economic environment. Well, fair enough, man. Fair enough. People being enlightened to the hilariousness of it all. It is a fucking video game. Trading is a goddamn video game when you look at it like this. That's why a lot of the time people will laugh at fundamental analysis. Like, fundamental analysis has been telling you to short for, well, probably since like especially 2018, but maybe even 2015. Wouldn't have worked out all that well, to be fair. For the last 6 years of straight fucking up. Anyways, lesson learned once again. Do we want to look at Dixie really quick? Yeah, why not? Dixie pulling back a little bit after that first hint above $91, but ultimately I do think that this one gets another try higher. Good morning, sir. Elsa's just waking up. What else do we have? Okay. Good morning. Hey, there we go. Small talk, not the finished thing. Anyways, Ethereum Bitcoin working its way up as well. So we did see, yes, I believe we said yesterday a test back up to the 200 simple was rather likely. Looks like we got that. Not that I trade this thing, not that I really care to even follow it a lot of the time too, but I'd be looking for further continuation on this one. Hidden bullish divergence is confirmed right here. Plus daily looks like it wants to cross back up and retain the bullish control zone. This is very likely to make new highs on this run, where the next major levels be on the weekly. Holy shit. Well, above the 200 simple, and especially above last week's high, as far as the weekly goes, there's really not much stopping you from about 5.5 million. Yeah, 5.5 million Satoshis. And then realistically, that's not a big area anyways. The big area is about a little bit over 6 million. So there we go. All right. What about Ripple? Hey, Ripple, pretty cool, right? Right? So I believe we said at the end of last week, or sorry, no, over the weekend, someone posted in the Discord, like this group that was going to promise to buy Ripple on February 1st. This is a classic game where you see this time and time again, where you have an event like that where, you know, everyone's getting really excited, right? Everyone's colluded together and found out the secret to markets is squeeze the shorts, of which I don't believe there's a net short position in Ripple, or at least not to my knowledge. So it's like, who the fuck you need to squeeze to begin with? But anyways, these people gathered like 200,000 signatures, which was a very big deal, right? And what happens? I don't want to say exactly as predicted, but this would be the one time where I really feel like it's warranted, just because this was not like a trade idea. This was just a market dynamic and market psychology, just kind of truism that I've learned over the years. And what happens, obviously, that gets front ran. So what do you see? You see the run up on, of course, the 30th and 31st of January. No shit, people front running the date that they all agreed upon, aka collusion, very difficult to work out. So how do you think it's going to work out with, you know, the whole Wall Street conspiracy theorists? Jesus fucking Christ, man. Like, they're all in a competition against each other. You do know that, right? Anyways, more importantly, after that, what happens on the 1st of February, the actual 1st of February? Red dildos in your face, Mr. Ripple hodlers. Sorry about your rapples. You got some red dildos instead. I hope you enjoy a good old shish kebab fucking sandwich. Yeah, good shit, man. Good shit. So where does this one go from here? Well, probably back down to where it started from, if I had to guess. I don't really follow this one all that much, but classic shit, man. Classic shit. But yeah, and that should be very enlightening for anyone who experienced this over here, just because, you know, you hear this sort of like sound bite where people will say like, Wall Street's colluding with each other to accumulate your silver fucking rocks low. It's like, okay, well, first off, to get them all to collude with each other is virtually impossible, because they're all in a competition with each other. And as you can see, it just takes one person to fuck up that whole goddamn plan and front run it, and then also dump it in your face. Enjoy your red dildos. It's a career-ending move, and you also don't know who's going to go against you as well. That's the whole thing with it. That's the picture that I'm painting right now. So as always, usually the explanation is a lot less diabolical and more just common, maybe not common sense, but more. It's less evil and more just just humans being humans, I guess. Humans being fucking humans. Who would have thought? All right, this video is already 35 minutes too long. Apologies for that. Let's start to wrap this shit up. Actually, let's focus on Ethereum once again today. That one's the fun one this time. Where are you? Where's my Ethereum chart? Found you. All right, let me just take a sip of this water. We'll wrap this bitch up. There we go. Good old high quality H2O. Alrighty. Let's see, how's it doing over here, by the way? Oh, yeah. Mr. Ethereum, once again, the star of the show, taking out the upside trajectory, as we did denote yesterday. Let's try this one more time. That was way too fucking coordinated. Ethereum, once again, the star of the show, as it does take the upside trajectory, breaking out and confirming the reaccumulation formation of the ascending triangle, and more importantly, starting to trend above the topside trolling band, which I do look at as a indication that we are in very much, in fact, resolving this one right now. Also, daily MACD accompanying that as well, as we did say. And what did happen on the ADX DMI? Well, the DMI plus dominant, while the ADX is strengthening all at the same time. So yes, the breakout does look real to me. There is one counterpoint to this, and that would be on the volume signature as it is right now, but I do think that can have a bit of a buffer zone in about 24 to 48 hours. So if you don't see this really start to pour in as the next leg is taken in the next move here, probably over the next 36 hours, then I would be a little bit concerned. But as it is right now, yes, I do respect the breakout. We do see that momentum oscillators also further support this, with RSI showing a hidden bullish divergence coming off the actual breakout itself back into the bullish control zone. Both very powerful things on the daily, I should say. Plus daily Stokes also following the trend line, going all the way back to September lows at about 350, or I guess it's not even on this this chart, but would be some more like this. More also important, confirming that it is going to hold within the bullish control zone and turning back up once again. So all of this looks well and good. And yes, we do have the next set of targets based off of both the pattern and the fib extensions, which are where they are not on my chart because I'm on the wrong one. Here we go. Let's find this one over here. There it is. Yes. So we do have the 2 spot extension in line with the measure move off of the ascending triangle. That is right under 1,800 bucks. Now, I highly doubt that things actually do reverse there, although I would be looking for a short-term pullback there. Ultimately, it's a 414 and the 618, which is between about 1,900 and 2,000 bucks, where I would be looking for things on this, very likely on this run. That also offers up the counterpoint on the other side. I am essentially bullish on this as long as it is above 1440 on a 4-hour closure. If it does come back down below there and especially break that area, I would be bearish. Looking for another drive back down at the very least to 1,300, and that would make this all look like a fake out. Do I think that's what's going to happen here? No, but always good to have a plan for what could go wrong if it does go wrong. Anyways, moving on, what do we see with Mr. Bitcoin? We do see it kind of following, so it does play into the rotational narrative of this market. By the way, we do see the 9 exponential crossing to the upside of the 20 simple right here. So I do look at this as rather or more or less a setup, following up from this short-term time frame analysis, as it does play into the analysis right now. We did take out this horizontal on the short-term time frames, which initiate the bias towards a move towards about 37,000 bucks. We've got that in the early morning hours. Do we get a small pullback here? Maybe even come all the way back down to 35,000 bucks. I don't have a strong opinion on that. Maybe not. What's more important to me is 4-hour RSI, and actually all the lower term time frames RSI is really telling the story right now, as you do see them get back into the bullish control zone, just kind of span across them, as you can see. So with all of that in mind, I do look for this to, if it does come back down and maybe test around 35 or a little bit below 35,000 bucks, I'd be looking at this as very likely to get picked back on up. And if we do see any sort of a closure on a 4-hour above our last pivot point at about 37.3, that's this area right here. Yeah, about 37,300. I would extend this move another 3,000 to 4,000 bucks into the $40,000 to $41,000 territory right here. At that point, the higher term time frame starts to take over, and you can imagine that that's going to lead into a breakout where we can start to start to talk about 45,000 and then 50,000 plus after that. Obviously, not in the same day, but over time, and of course, daily RSI also telling the story right here. Very, very healthy as we do see it kind of reach for the bullish control zone once again after a bit of a bullish reset. I do really, really like all of these reads together. And also daily momentum also is following through here too. So all this looking good. By the way, following this trend line way the fuck back from February of this year, March of this year, around coronavirus dump time, connected with our September lows at about 10,300, and then more recently at the $30,000 low. So you can see that is building, nice bases in this area right here, and then again in this area right here. So looking very, very good on the whole. I'd be looking for Ethereum to kind of set the tone and Bitcoin to follow, and we likely see that play out at the very least until February 8th, where we do see Ethereum's CME debut. With that in mind, I do want to wish you the best and the happiest. Or actually, should I say? Or no. I should also give the downside failure point here too. Downside failure point on Bitcoin would be 34,500. As long as we're above there, more or less fine. Below there, then perhaps another move back down to 31 or 32,000 bucks. But as long as we're above there, fine by me, sir. Anyways, with that said, I want to salute you. I want to wish you the best. Take care, and until next time.